The Disappeared, Syria's Sad Search. zReportage.com, issue number 974, story of the week, published Tuesday, December 31, 2024. The Disappeared, Syria's Sad Search. Story and pictures by four-time Pulitzer Prize winning ZUMA Press photographer Carol Guzy. Desperate family members search for their disappeared loved ones at the Moujtahed hospital morgue among bodies of prisoners recovered from the notorious Sednaya prison and other military intelligence branch jails that showed signs of torture and malnutrition during a brutal regime in Damascus, Syria in December 2024. A whirlwind rebel offensive led by the Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham ousted President Bashar al-Assad. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights estimates more than 100,000 people died in Syrian prisons, and now most families will be denied the closure of a proper burial. They go from prison to prison, and hospital morgues, wishing for even just bones to bury. Even we accept the skeletons, say the mothers. They compare family photos to barely recognizable printouts of corpses taped to hospital walls. They deal with the tedious process of identification in a tiny office discussing birthmark descriptions. A former prisoner stops by to share the burden and show his torture scars. Posters of so many faces are on every inch of a statue at Marja Square, now fading with the hopes of families every finding them. A day of mourning takes place at Moujtahed Square, in sharp contrast to the joyous celebrations after Friday prayers. People say every home in Syria is touched by loss. Of the 35 bodies initially received at the hospital, 23 were taken for family funerals. In a desolate scene, the White Helmets eventually loaded 10 unclaimed corpses for burial at an undisclosed location. To date, 2 remain in a refrigerated room. "My heart is burning," wept Warda al-Khoda from Aleppo, who has 2 missing sons. She holds a flashlight as men feverishly dig at Sednaya, hoping to find secret rooms underground. "Don't tell me he's not here," she cried. "There are no more youth in Syria," she stated. "They took them all." Fatin Massam from Daraa reads words etched on dark cell walls, searching for clues about her brother Tariq Massam, missing since 2013. She believed prisoners communicated via water pipes and listens now at each cell for any sound. Walid Shwaib pitifully weeps for his son Sami that he buried recently after finding him at the Moujtahed hospital morgue. He could barely talk, choking on grief. "I just can't believe he died," he says. "I see him in my dreams. Sometimes he calls for me, calls my name. He is beloved. May God have mercy on him. He is disabled and living amid the rubble of war with assistance from his other 2 sons." They never knew where Sami was detained until they saw branch 227 written on his body bag. Walid paid a lot of money but was never allowed visitation and had a heart attack upon hearing his son was dead. Unable to attend the funeral, he at least feels some serenity knowing he is at rest and his sons can go every day to pray at a gravesite. He speaks of Assad, "He is worse than Hitler. We wish God will punish him and his mafias." Hassan al-Maghrabi talks about his son Muhammad at the rooftop of his home where he blew himself up with a grenade as he was being pursued by Assad security forces, who then took his body and arrested Hassan. 13-year-old Mohanad Sulaiman holds a portrait of the father he never met. "I would like to see him. Hug him," he says. His father was injured by shelling and his mother, pregnant at the time, drove him to the hospital and put makeup on his face so at the checkpoint they didn't see he was sick. He died 2 hours before she delivered the baby. Muhammad Majed was arrested when on a date with his wife in 2014. She sold her gold bracelet to bargain for visitation, but never saw him again. Ushers served tea at a memorial service at al-Damashqiyah funeral home for 101 prisoners from one neighborhood that had perished in prisons. Maula Saeed Mardini, father of martyr Khalid Mardini, remarked, "Some people say that Hitler is the worst person that ever lived. Bashar al-Assad is far more evil than Hitler himself. He's the source of all of the evil in the world. Though we didn't have the public opinion and news and internet at the time of Hitler, it is so strange that Assad had the audacity to commit these war crimes while we have these media and technologies. He never stopped committing crimes, Seems like didn't matter to him. Samira Uthman Kaka is embraced by family at their home as she holds a photo of Bassem al-Rafai, the son they lost. Her 4-year-old granddaughter Leah kisses his image and constantly asks when her uncle is coming home. She says the only words she knows in English, "I love you." In 2013 he was arrested while peacefully protesting and they haven't seen him since. He was 22. They came armed with an RPG. "Are we hiding a tank in our house?" Samira said incredulously. They said a worker at Sednaya took photos of all the prisoners who died, and they believe he was later caught and executed. After the fall of the Assad regime, the photos were published on Facebook, which is how they learned of his death. Like so many other families, their hearts will not feel peace without retrieving his body, but they have finally accepted he is gone and their long futile search is over. They speak of the future with yearning faith. "When Assad fell, we didn't believe it. But it's not a dream, it is true. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," says Samira as little Leah sings a song of liberation. "We hope for a new chapter in the coming days. Insha'Allah, God willing."